What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over a few underrated loot spots that can hopefully help you get easier wins in Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 2. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like some more, and comment down below what your favorite place to land at has been so far in Chapter 6 Season 2. And as always, with these kind of underrated loot spots, a lot of these locations aren't going to have that much loot or have enough loot for you to kind of land here and then feel comfortable, not worrying about loot for the remainder of the game. They're more so just spots where you can get an okay amount of loot pretty quickly and be pretty uncontested while doing so, and then get decent timing to third party a more like densely populated or fought over location. So if you just land here, loot this stuff, and then hide for the remainder of the game, you're probably not going to get that win. But if you use this to just get an easier start to the game and then take advantage of timing that will get you more loot in the long run, that is something that can really set you up for success. Also, a lot of times with these spots, I try to focus on locations that will have guaranteed mobility, but that's not really the case this season because there isn't any sort of locations where you can get guaranteed mobility. There's not like the katana stands like we've had in the past. There's not like special chests which have a high probability of giving the mobility item. You mostly just got to loot and get what you get and then play off that. One thing you can do to get more mobility this season, or get some sort of guaranteed mobility this season, is going to be the sprite shrines. If you turn the air sprite into these shrines, it will give you 4 shockwaves guaranteed, and that is the air sprite, not the water sprite. If you do the water sprite, you don't get shockwaves. But if you do the air sprite, you get 4 guaranteed shockwaves, and that is basically the closest we're going to get to guaranteed mobility as of this point in the season. So I tried to pick spots that have those shrines nearby. That way you can hopefully, get shockwaves that way. The first location we're going to talk about is going to be the turtles that are on the edge of the map outside Hopeful Heights. These turtles only have 6 potential chests, but it does have a guaranteed elemental chest from last season for some reason, which should give you some decent loot. And there's 5 barrels on these turtles for guaranteed shield. There also is a sprite shrine on the turtles as well, and a launch pad so you can quickly rotate into Hopeful Heights. And as I just touched on, this isn't a lot of loot. Like if you loot 6 chests, you're probably not going to have what you want for the remainder of the game. But the speed at which you can get 6 chests and be relatively uncontested here, and then pad to Hopeful Heights if you want, or maybe if there's an air sprite already on the turtle or on your way there. I've had games where it was clear there was nobody coming here, so I landed on an air sprite and then brought it to the turtle. Things like that make this a pretty decent drop, and I feel like you'll be pretty surprised with the loot you actually come away from this place with. And then you can, like I said, pad into Hopeful Heights, maybe clean up whatever fight is going on over there and get more loot, or just go ahead and drive over towards Masked Meadows and try to third party the vault location. I think these turtles are one of the most underrated spots this season, and potentially one of the most underrated spots in Fortnite history. Like, I was very surprised the quality of loot I was leaving these statues with, despite it being not that much and being super uncontested. So I think the turtles are very good. As time goes on this season, though, I would kind of expect them to get more and more attention, and then maybe it wouldn't be worth it. But as of now, I think the turtles are a very good drop spot. There also is this area outside Demon's Dojo. This was a location I talked about last season that was quite good. In this little tunnel area, you have about 12 potential chest spawns, and there's a guaranteed slurp truck outside, which is very nice. When we're landing at any of these spots that don't have very much loot, being able to get guaranteed shield from the barrels or the truck helps you save the shield items that you do end up finding for when you actually fight. So 12 potential chests is a good amount. A guaranteed slurp truck is great. And then there's also several sprite shrines in the area that you can use to get shockwaves, as well as additional loot around these shrines as well, which is nice. Once you have looted this area, you could go up towards Demon's Dojo and maybe hire the Night Rose NPC if no one has done that yet, or just third party the vault at Seaport City if that's something that's still going on. And if you are able to third party any of these vault locations, you should have very good loot from the vault itself. And then you also get the Dillbucks, which can be used to purchase really good weapons from the black market. So getting decent timing and getting a much easier clear on that vault than you would otherwise get. makes the rest of the game a bit easier to play. And I feel like this location outside Steeman's Dojo not only was a good spot last season, but I think this season it is also quite good. Another underrated spot that people really liked last season that is, I think, even better this season is going to be the training area north of Magic Mosses. This location has 16 potential chest spawns and a slurp truck, and as I already said, getting those guaranteed shield is nice. And there's also several sprite shrines nearby towards the gas station, and there's also several in Magic Mosses as well. And one of the things that I feel like really makes this location better is that the black market location is at Magic Mosses. So you could kind of loot this up and then go over towards that black market, get high rarity loot if that's something you want to do. And then from there, you could just play your game out normally, do what you want to do, or you could try to third party the vault at Lawless Lair if that is still being fought over. It's really up in the air whether or not it's still being contested by the time you get there. If someone has an easier clear on it, they might be done by the time you get there. But if they are having to fight before they start the vault encounter, you could definitely get here on time and have an easy cleanup on that vault and then get that loot as well, or the Dillbucks. And then also, a lot of times the person who gets the Lawless Lair vault is going to go towards the Magic Mosses black market. And so you might meet them on the way there if they did get an easy clear, and then just be able to clean them up, get their Dillbucks, get their loot. And then, you know, you had a much easier start to the game than them, because while you were looting this relatively uncontested spot, they were fighting over a vault. And there's a few other locations around Lawless Lair that I think really set you up to get good timing and third party that vault. The first is going to be the Sub-Zero mountain. This is the mountain where the Sub-Zero NPC will spawn. And there's 13 potential chests like on and around the mountain itself, along with the Sub-Zero NPC, obviously, that you can talk to, and, you know, he'll give you like a big pot or a med kit. There's also a house at the base of the hill that has 5 potential chest spawns and 9 slurp barrels. So you can basically get full shield off these barrels, and a lot of them, like one is on like a lift thing, and then the other you could just break the floor and get all of them. So you can get all these barrels very quickly, as well as the remaining loot in that house. And then there is also a nearby sprite shrine, and you could just walk right up to that shrine. Hopefully there's an air sprite that you can capture for shockwaves. And then from there, you can just go straight to Lawless Lair. And there's actually a zip line that will take you up to the house that you should be able to get here fast enough to third party anybody opening the vault. Like, it's not like you're right on the location, but with how condensed your loot is at this mountain and how uncontested you should be, you should get here before they open the vault. The vaults take a decent amount of time to open this season because you have to go through the different stages. So I feel like the Sub-Zero mountain is a decent spot. And if you like getting the Sub-Zero gauntlets, you can actually just eliminate the NPC and he drops the gauntlet. So if you really like having the Sub-Zero gauntlets, that is something that you can do to get them guaranteed every game. Get a relatively uncontested drop and hopefully get decent timing on that vault. Another location you can use to third-party Lawless Lair is going to be the RV park outside Magic Mosses. And the main setup for this, again, is just going to be third-partying Lawless Lair, I think. And there actually is a porta potty that brings you right from the RV park to that zip line that we had previously talked about. You do have to use gold to enter these golden porta potties, but it's really not that big of a deal. Gold is incredibly easy to get this season if you get any of the vaults. And the entire setup for this is for you to get good timing and get an easy clear on that vault. So you should be able to make your gold back from the vault. This location has 17 potential chests. They are pretty spread out though, so it's like very unlikely I would ever loot every single chest here. I would just kind of get decent fighting loot and then go to clear that vault. And if you really don't want to bother dealing with the vault POI, like let's just say you hate it, you could loot these RVs. There's a sprite shrine at Magic Mosses, and then also the black market is right there. So even if you didn't want to go for the vault at either the Sub-Zero or the RV location, you could just make your way towards that black market because you can take that porta potty in reverse as well. So if you landed on the Sub-Zero mountain, you could get that loot, go to the porta potty, end up at the RV park, and then go to the black market and sprite shrine and Magic Mosses from there. And that would be an also pretty easy start to the game for you. And then the black markets themselves can also be a decent-ish landing location. The only thing is you're going to spend a lot of gold and you're not going to get a lot of ammo this way. And so I wouldn't want to do this consistently, but like Crime City, for example, you could just land on the black market, buy a shotgun, buy an AR, buy some shield, and then go and third party the vault at Crime City, third party the other fights going on at Crime City, And while this may be expensive, as I already touched on, getting gold is super easy this season. And if you're third partying the vault anyways, you're probably going to make that gold back. So I'm not a huge fan of landing on the black market locations, but I have seen people say that they, enjoy doing that and it works out for them. So that is also something that you could maybe consider. One final thing I want to say is that I might be an NPC for just now learning this, but some of these sprite shrines are not guaranteed spawn rate. I believe some of them on the map are 100% spawn rate, but some of these sprite shrines are also up to chance. So when I showed pictures of the map on screen during the video, the sprite shrines sometimes will be there, sometimes they won't be there, but it's kind of like a chest where like once you know where the chest spawns, you can go there and see if it's there in that given match. And that's kind of how the sprite shrines are. So if you load up into a game and don't see one where I kind of showed there would be one, it's because they're, up to chance. And that is something I actually learned when I was making this video. But that is going to be it for this. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like some more, comment down below where your favorite location to land at has been so far in Season 2, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.